Well, I can only think of one word to summarise this performance by Michael Schumacher and the Ferrari is whitewashed, really. That's the only word I can think of. He's just been cruising away at the front. He's had it completely under control, and I would think he's thinking, you know, how can they go so slow? He's just absolutely, look, he's just nowhere near any curbs, any barriers, anything, just stroking it down the hill, and it's just coming to him so easily.
He took the lead from second position on the grid. He was fastest in every practice session. And the only session he wasn't fastest in was the one that mattered most, qualifying. But he was only 7/100ths of a second slower than Häkkinen after a superb effort by the Finn. There is the master tactician, Ross Brawn, sitting impassively, as he always does, in his position in the pit lane, supervising the drive by his driver. And if he says to Michael Schumacher during a race, you've got to get 20 seconds in the next 14 laps, Schumacher will do it. He doesn't have to in this race. Michael Schumacher is into the swimming pool complex, the last few corners, for the 78th and last time. Down to the Rascasse. He's going to stretch his lead in the World Championship with a 4th victory at Monaco, 1994, 1995, 1997, and victory for Schumacher and Ferrari in 1999. Superb. Look back for Eddie Irvine, but it's going to be another half minute. There he is. And Eddie can be mighty, mighty proud. He's retained his second place in the World Championship for drivers behind the championship leader, Michael Schumacher, and he's done it the right way. He won in Australia. Eddie Irvine was 5th in Brazil. He didn't finish in Imola, but he's finishing second at Monaco. A Ferrari, as Martin said, a Ferrari whitewash at Monaco. There is the defeated Mika Häkkinen home in 3rd place, 4 points.
Now, so the
Well, there we are, AJ, a moment that unfortunately you didn't do in your career, but it must be a wonderful feeling. Prince Rainier there with that wonderful trophy.
Oh, fantastic, Daz. And in fact, I did get second there, but in those days only the winner went up to the rostrum.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
So there you go, it's Jones's Law. But fantastic result for Ferrari, 1st and 2nd. I mean, they really got their act together. This guy is the greatest racing driver at present time and will go down as one of the all-time greats. And Eddie Irvine backing him up beautifully as his number 2.
I thought too, just driving their cars side by side round the entire circuit was a wonderful show of power. Let's stand by now for the national anthem. There we are, Michael Schumacher, and you made a very good comment, AJ. His hair's not even wet. I mean, how fit is he?
Well, that's right. I mean, look, there's not even a bead of perspiration on him. The hair's bone dry. I mean now that we get back to his hair, you know, he's just extremely fit. And well, I think Murray was mentioning before that they've built a gym for him at Ferrano. But what else they also have is a semi-trailer that goes to most of the Grand Prix that it's fitted out as a mobile gym. So he practically works, oh, here we go, he works out in between practice sessions.
One thing that a lot of people wouldn't be aware of, that's Ferrari's first 1 and 2 at Monaco.
Ever.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's pretty amazing. Okay, and of course that now makes him the most winningest driver, if that's the right way to say that grammatically, in Ferrari's history.
Schumacher over Irvine, Häkkinen, Frentzen, Fisichella and Wirtz. 2 good results there for the Benetton teams. Schumacher now 26 points over Irvine with 18, Häkkinen 14, Frentzen 13, Schumacher, Rolf that is, and Fisichella equal 5th with 7. The championship, 44 for Ferrari, romping away from McLaren on 20, Jordan 3rd, Benetton 4th, Williams 5th, Stewart in 6th with 6.
Okay, we'll take a break, come straight back, stay with us.
A great result. A 78-lap race that was won in the first 50 metres. Talk us through your start.
Yeah, I mean, I was myself a bit surprised. I got very good off the line, but then I saw Mika having wheel spin initially and struggling a bit. And naturally, he tried to move over to make it difficult to me, but he wasn't. He was clever enough not to make it too close, otherwise we would have crashed in the first corner, and I slipped by because I had the momentum, the better speed, and for that reason I could use my strategy, which obviously was on lighter fuel, and pulled my advantage or my gap, which we needed for the pit stop to make everything safe. But mainly up to the first pit stop it was a hard race, and I was pushing obviously flat out to get my gap, and after that I just drove it home.
We saw on TV your engineers coming in and going out with tyres. How flexible was that strategy? How big was the window in the first stint?
Good question. I mean, obviously we have 2 cars. They can be moving for 2 cars in and out and playing different strategies. I don't know. Obviously, which moment they have done what, I can't see that. You see more than about this. But there wasn't so much of flexibility in the strategy, to be honest. Not on my side.
Now, the last race was very controversial because of the problem with back markers and blue flags. How was that here this weekend?
No, compliment to the drivers, to be honest. I mean, they did a very good job. Certainly to me, I don't know how it was to the other guys, but they moved over whenever it was possible for them, and really fair play.
Thank you, Michael. Eddie, second place, congratulations. You've cemented your second place in the championship. But for your strategy, again, how flexible was that? Were you always on a 2-stop?
We were obviously, before the race, we have to look at various situations and see what's the best thing to do. And that's where, you know, we've got our race card, and that's Rush. You know, he does a fantastic job in that department. But as in Imola, it worked out well for us today. Mika seemed to hit a bit of traffic earlier on, which I seemed to be able to nip through quite nicely, and I closed the gap, and once I got close to him, I could see I was a lot faster than him, and basically all through the race I was faster than him, but obviously when you're behind, you can't overtake, especially when McLaren goes down the straights. So we had to do it in strategy, which we achieved.
Thanks, Eddie. Mika, I suppose you could say you lost the race in the first 50 metres. How did you see it?
How did I see it? I think Michael said it exactly correctly. I got too much wheel spin in the start and was not able to get out of the grid well enough to accelerate first in the first corner. So unfortunate because of that, and that's it about the start.
You probably still would have finished second, but for the problem you had going into Mirabeau at the end of your first stint. What happened there?
Yeah, there was yellow. I think the incident just happened when I went there, and there was some oil on the circuit, and yellow flags, and went to the Mirabeau, and because there was oil, I just lost the back end, and if I would have tried to turn the Mirabeau corner itself, I would have definitely lost the back end and hit the barrier. So I decided to go straight and to get out there as soon as quick as possible and back to the track. But obviously I lost too much time there. Nothing what I could do in that situation.
Does this performance by Ferrari begin to dent your confidence about being able to retain the championship?
I think this start of the season, you know, the points what I scored this Grand Prix is obviously important. Every point is important, like we realized last year. Just have a very intensive testing coming up again. Plan to improve the car engine and to find more speed to be able to maintain the speed.
Thank you, Mika. Michael.
Yeah, pretty amazing race. Ferrari 1 and 2 creating history, Michael Schumacher. His 16th win Ferrari. That puts him one over the other great man, Niki Lauda. So certainly a spectacle, and certainly a great spectacle if you're